shirt reminds me of a baby duck. Shirt is
From Doja Cat, whose leaked comments nearly erased her online presence overnight, to Kanye West, who stunned the world by praising Hitler live on national television.
I see good things about Hitler also. The Jew, I love everyone. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially.
In this video, we're highlighting rappers who've openly displayed racist behavior, starting with Doja Cat. In May 2020, as her hit Say So topped the charts, she faced a massive scandal when allegations emerged that she participated in racist online chat rooms, used racial slurs, and mocked victims of police brutality. The hashtag #DojaIsOver party went viral as users shared evidence of her behavior. The controversy centered on clips from TinyChat, a public video chat platform, where Doja allegedly interacted with users linked to alt-right, incel, or white supremacist circles. Videos circulated showing participants using the N-word and engaging in derogatory discussions about black people. Accusers claimed Doja joined in, using slurs herself, mocking black communities, and engaging in race play, a fetish involving racial humiliation. One particularly controversial piece of evidence was her 2015 song Didn't Do Nothing, a term originating from racist forums like 4chan, mocking black victims of police brutality. Critics argued the lyrics belittled systemic racism and cases like Sandra Bland's death. On May 24, 2020, Doja addressed the scandal on Instagram, denying involvement in racist conversations. "I've used public chat rooms to socialize since I was a child. I shouldn't have been on some of those sites, but I've never been part of racist conversations. I'm sorry to anyone I offended." The following day, she elaborated in a 30-minute Instagram Live, framing her actions as reclaiming hurtful terms used against her personally rather than mocking others. However, many on social media criticized her apologies as insincere, noting she smiled while speaking and invoked the "I have Asian friends" defense. The scandal reportedly cost her around 500,000 followers, though her career eventually rebounded. Doja wasn't the only rapper facing backlash. Just months later, Lil Pump sparked global outrage for anti-Asian remarks. In December 2018, he teased his single Butterfly Doors with a 40-second Instagram clip featuring lyrics and gestures mocking Chinese people. He referenced Yao Ming with slanted-eye jokes, ad-libbed the slur Ching Chong, and performed a gesture exaggerating Asian eyes, drawing immediate criticism worldwide. "Here's a cleaner, more concise rewrite of your text while keeping all the key events and facts." The backlash against Lil Pump was immediate and intense. Social media users flooded his accounts with accusations of racism, with Chinese netizens on Weibo especially vocal. One thread reached over 35 million reads by late December 2018. Actress and rapper Awkwafina tweeted sarcastically, "Always nice to hear a new song with a Ching Chong ad-lib, Lil Pump." Chinese rappers responded with diss tracks targeting him. On December 25, 2018, Lil Pump posted an apology on Instagram, but many in China found it insincere. When Butterfly Doors officially released on January 4, 2019, he removed the Yao Ming reference, the Ching Chong ad-lib, and all offensive gestures from the song and music video. While Lil Pump's controversy stirred global outrage, another hip-hop titan faced long-term scrutiny, not for slurs, but for colorism, denial of systemic racism, and detachment from his community. Lil Wayne. Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. Despite being one of hip-hop's most influential figures, his legacy has been marred by repeated criticisms for colorist lyrics, degrading dark-skinned black women, and public statements dismissing systemic racism. In 2010, on right above it featuring Drake, Wayne rapped, "Beautiful black woman, I bet that looked better red," implying lighter skin was preferable. In 2016 interviews, he dismissed racism, citing diverse concert crowds and a white police officer saving his life after a suicide attempt. That same year, he distanced himself from Black Lives Matter, saying, "It has nothing to do with me." His endorsement of Donald Trump in 2020 reignited debates about his views. Additionally, his 2013 Karate Chop remix referenced Emmett Till's 1955 lynching, prompting public outcry and an apology letter. Yet none of these controversies compared to Kanye West's descent into antisemitism. Legally known as Ye since 2021, his remarks escalated from 2022 into 2025, including explicit praise for Hitler, promotion of Nazi symbols, and allegations of creating a hostile work environment. The most shocking moment came on December 1, 2022, during an appearance on Alex Jones's InfoWars. Ye, wearing a full face mask, publicly praised Hitler. But this wasn't Ye's first foray into antisemitism. In October 2022, he posted on Twitter that he was going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, a statement widely interpreted as a threat invoking long-standing antisemitic tropes about Jewish control of media, finance, and politics. He followed this with multiple interviews amplifying these stereotypes, claiming Jewish people controlled media, finance, and even black communities. Former associates alleged that his admiration for Adolf Hitler dated back at least 20 years, including during the making of his 2004 album The College Dropout. In February 2025, Ye's Yeezy website began selling $20 t-shirts featuring a swastika inside a Star of David, under the product name HH01, interpreted as HY Hitler. He promoted the items during a Super Bowl ad, but Shopify shut down the store for violating policies. Ye also faced multiple lawsuits detailing a toxic workplace environment rife with anti-Semitic elements. In November 2022, he paid a settlement to a former employee who alleged he praised Hitler and Nazis. In April 2024, Trevor Phillips sued Ye for discrimination, claiming Ye had spoken of going for the gays after finishing with the Jews. The fallout was immense. Adidas ended its Yeezy partnership in October 2022, costing Ye his billionaire status, with his net worth dropping from $1.5 billion to $400 million. Balenciaga, Gap, and his talent agency CA cut ties, and Ye claimed losses of $2 billion in a single day. On December 26, 2023, Ye issued an apology in Hebrew seeking forgiveness from the Jewish community. Yet controversies persisted, and the Anti-Defamation League linked his statements to spikes in anti-Semitic incidents nationwide. But Ye was not alone in testing the limits between artistic rebellion and harmful rhetoric. Tyler, the creator, once hip-hop's enfant terrible, grappled with his own controversial past. From 2009 to 2013, his work with Odd Future contained deeply problematic content rooted in anti-black sentiments, self-hatred, and shock value. During his underground era, tracks like Big Po included lyrics expressing distrust toward white people with dreadlocks and resentment of light-skinned individuals. More troubling, his repeated use of racial slurs, particularly in the track Yonkers, combined violent imagery with homophobic language. Critics argued this went beyond edgy art, normalizing slurs among his largely white, suburban fan base. Tyler's controversies extended to his Golf Wang clothing line, where he sold merchandise featuring racist imagery, including blackface caricatures, KKK symbols, and white supremacist motifs. He even dressed as a Klan member for promotional photos. Former Odd Future members criticized him for leveraging anti-black rhetoric to grow his audience while distancing himself from genuine black cultural reclamation. In 2015, Tyler further sparked outrage by repurposing a neo-Nazi Stormfront logo for Golf Wang, replacing White Pride Worldwide with Golf Pride Worldwide in rainbow colors, claiming the alteration promoted gay pride and anti-homophobia. Critics condemned this as naive and self-righteous, misusing oppressive symbols without regard for affected communities. Consequences followed. The UK banned Tyler for 3 years over lyrics from Bastard and Goblin, citing content that glamorized violence and encouraged hatred. Tyler called the ban racist, but many viewed it as accountability. In 2019, a student faced charges for quoting Tyler's track Radicals as threats. When old lyrics targeting Taylor Swift resurfaced in 2024, Tyler dismissed criticism as racist as commentary and threatened to bring out the old me, directing fans to Tron Cat, one of his most offensive tracks. These were widely seen as non-apologies lacking genuine remorse, though Tyler has evolved, exploring themes of black identity and personal growth in later work. Critics argue he has not fully addressed his role in enabling racism and misogyny. Not all controversy, however, comes from the stage. Interviews, offhand remarks, and public statements often reveal an artist's true beliefs. A$AP Rocky, born Rakim Myers, has also faced scrutiny for his public persona and affiliations, highlighting how influence in music extends beyond lyrics into public perception, social media, and cultural impact. Together, the trajectories of Ye, Tyler, and A$AP Rocky illustrate a central tension in contemporary culture: the collision of artistic freedom, provocation, and social responsibility. Ye's anti-Semitic rhetoric led to enormous financial, legal, and social consequences. Tyler's shock value early work provoked international bans and legal scrutiny, and A$AP Rocky represents the complexities of navigating influence amid public scrutiny. These cases highlight that while art often challenges norms, it also carries the weight of real-world impact, showing that creativity unmoored from accountability can have lasting, far-reaching consequences. A$AP Rocky has faced accusations of making anti-black statements, exhibiting colorist preferences, and dismissing movements like Black Lives Matter. These controversies primarily stem from interviews conducted between 2013 and 2016. One of the earliest incidents occurred in 2013 when Rocky discussed makeup in an interview with The Cower. He stated, "But for real, for me, I feel like with the red lipstick thing, it all depends on the pair of complexion. I'm just being real. You have to be fair-skinned to get away with that." The remarks sparked criticism for implying that dark-skinned women should avoid bold colors, reinforcing long-standing colorist tropes. Model Tocora Jones called it a sign of self-hate, pointing out Rocky's own brown skin. Rocky responded in a 2013 radio interview with a partial apology, saying, "I'm sorry if it hurt any dark-skinned girls' feelings." However, he also appeared to minimize the backlash, calling it petty and suggesting that black women were being overly sensitive. His comments on Black Lives Matter further fueled accusations of anti-blackness. In a 2015 interview with Time Out New York, Rocky distanced himself from events in Ferguson, saying, "So, every time something happens because I'm black, I got to stand up? What? Am I Al Sharpton now? I'm A$AP Rocky. I did not sign up to be a political activist. I want to talk about my lean. I don't want to talk about Ferguson because I don't live over there. I live in Soho and Beverly Hills. I can't relate." In 2016, he appeared on The Breakfast Club to clarify his position. During his 2019 detention in Sweden for assault, old quotes resurfaced, with critics on Black Twitter questioning why the community should rally for someone who had dismissed BLM. While social media amplified the controversy, this type of scrutiny is not new in hip-hop. Words alone have historically had the power to challenge entire movements and imperil careers, as seen in the case of Professor Griff. Professor Griff, born Richard Dwayne Griffin, was the Minister of Information for Public Enemy and a key architect of the group's revolutionary messaging. His role made him central to their politically charged image. Yet in 1989, his career was nearly derailed by anti-Semitic statements. On May 22, 1989, during an interview with journalist David Mills for The Washington Times, Griff accused Jews of involvement in the slave trade, controlling global finance, and other conspiracy theories influenced by Nation of Islam teachings. The backlash was immediate and intense. Def Jam Records faced significant pressure, and co-founder Lya Cohen arranged a private tour of a Holocaust museum for the band. Chuck D initially issued an apology on Griff. Professor Griff's controversies continued after his 1989 anti-Semitic remarks, which nearly derailed his career. Although Def Jam fired him amid public pressure, Griff briefly rejoined Public Enemy, sparking renewed protests that led Chuck D to temporarily disband the group. Ultimately, external pressures forced the band to reform without Griff. Following his dismissal, Griff founded his own group, The Last Asiatic Disciples, and in his 2009 book Analytics, he expressed a degree of remorse, writing, "To say the Jews are responsible for the majority of wickedness that went on around the globe, I would have to know about the majority of wickedness, which is impossible." Yet Griff continued to court controversy, appearing on Nick Cannon's podcast in June 2020 to discuss anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, which contributed to Cannon's firing from Viacom-CBS. Griff remains a member of the Nation of Islam and continues lecturing. His legacy is polarizing, celebrated for his revolutionary role in Public Enemy but criticized for promoting divisive ideologies. Hip-hop's reckoning with racism did not end with Griff. In the early 2000s, leaked tapes from a young Eminem threatened to tarnish the legacy of one of the genre's most successful artists. Eminem's early underground recordings, from the late 1980s to early 1990s, contain some of the most explicitly racist content in hip-hop. Songs like Foolish Pride and So Many Styles feature derogatory language toward black women and repeated use of the N-word, prompting accusations of cultural exploitation and anti-black sentiment. Foolish Pride, recorded when Eminem was about 16 following a breakup with a black girlfriend, was never intended for release but leaked in 2003 during a feud with the Source magazine. The lyrics portray black women as opportunistic and inferior to white women, with lines such as, "Black girls only want your money 'cause they're dumb chicks, so I'ma tell you, you better pull up your britches." So Many Styles, recorded around 1993, is shorter but more directly dismissive of black culture, using the N-word casually and disparagingly. When these tapes surfaced, Eminem immediately addressed them, stating, "The tape they played today was something I made out of anger, stupidity, and frustration as a teenager. I had just broken up with my girlfriend who was African American, and I reacted like the angry, stupid kid I was." On his 2004 album Encore, Eminem revisited these themes in Yellow Brick Road, apologizing for singling out a race and acknowledging the harm his early words caused. Nevertheless, critics argue that Eminem has long profited from black culture while harboring problematic attitudes. Figures like Benzino called him a culture vulture in his 2024 track Vulturious, while Lord Jamar reaffirmed the criticism in 2019. A 2003 UNMBC opinion piece argued that he should be held accountable for the powerful racist language in his early work. This era of scrutiny paved the way for a broader culture of accountability in music, where tweets, interviews, and old lyrics could resurface and threaten careers. Elia Banks, born in 1991 and known for her breakout hit 212, became a notable example of social media amplifying controversy. In May 2016, she sparked a major backlash with racist and xenophobic attacks on British singer Zayn Malik, whom she accused of copying her style. Interpreting a subtle post from Malik as a slight, Banks unleashed a barrage of slurs targeting his South Asian Pakistani heritage.